Good morning again, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing another video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and that is the subject of adversity. Adversity, and not the meaning you might be familiar with, actually. Adversity, in this context, is another way to say adversarialism, but that's just barely a word, if any. Much easier to say the literal meaning of adversity, which is having a division between parties or competing factions, if you will. Adversity, commonly means hardship, of course, something difficult or potentially rewarding. Usually, that goes along with it. But I want to explore the other meaning that is much less common. Adversarialism. What is it to be adversarial? Because it's not a given, is it? Adversarialism, when you find someone who acts or behaves adversarially, who makes a competition or a contest out of everything or everything they can, people who say things like, so-and-so is my friend, in the context of they are their ally, or they use the word buddy, ever. You know what I mean, right? It's a circuitous way of saying that there are also enemies. When you call someone your ally, you're acknowledging the other side of it. It's implied, it's not expressed necessarily, but you're also saying that there are enemies out there. And maybe there are. But there's people who approach everybody and everything with this attitude of adversity or adversarialism. So I want to take this apart in just a moment here. This is going to be a really short video, but adversarialism implies something else too. It implies that your team is against everybody else, and that there are absolutely teams. There's sides to this perspective, and there may or may not actually be sides. Here's the thing. Just because someone's not on your team doesn't mean they're your enemy. Just because someone is unaffiliated doesn't make them your enemy. But with us or against us is another way to say it, is very common, unfortunately, to fail to support a group. In their eyes, many times, it marks you as their enemy. So hold on a second, wait a minute. There are a lot of groups out there. How many do I have to support exactly? And why do I do that again? Okay, just because I don't necessarily support a group doesn't mean that I'm against that group. It doesn't mean that I'm going to prejudge someone who is affiliated with that group or a member of that group. It doesn't mean that I'm going to discriminate against them or be unfair to them. It doesn't mean that I'm going to treat them badly at all. I don't need to be a member of your group, and I definitely don't need to support your group without my choosing to do so, and vice versa. Okay, here's the point. My groups, such as they are, don't have a lot of them, if any, but if I did, I would not expect other people necessarily to support my groups, because that's up to them. The expectation would be inappropriate. That wouldn't even be support. That'd be a requirement. It'd be something else. It'd be a policy, a rule, a law, whatever. To fail to support any group is excusable by itself. You're not expected or required to support anybody unless they are your dependent. Unless you signed up for that somehow with your choosing and your decisions, your behaviors, your actions, that's one thing. If you involved yourself, such as having a kid, that's one thing. But random strangers, it should be clear, you don't owe them anything until you owe them something. If you have a business arrangement, if you did damage to their property, that's another thing too. But if you have no prior dealings with a person or a group, come on. There are a lot of exploits, a lot of abuses, a lot of people finding ways to survive, finding ways to get by, to protect themselves and their families. And you can understand it, at least, if not excuse it. But here's the thing. If your goal is to keep from getting fired or to have someone else pay your bills just because you can, if you find a loophole, that's not okay. That's not okay. I mean, somebody would be within rights to fight that, to complain, protest, and maybe press charges. So be careful who you label as your enemy. Be careful who you label as an enemy, especially just for failing to support you. They aren't required to support you. Nobody is. Unless they are. All right, have a great day. Reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.